Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. We're Tracy and Jo, and we're two sisters who are very, very passionate about asking questions and seeking information on things we don't yet understand. Thrive is a podcast show that will help you lower your toxic load. It will guide you through various stages of life, and we want to give you permission to ask questions and seek advice on things that make you curious. Now, today's episode is not probably any of those, but it is about maybe lowering your toxic load in the festive season. It probably falls into that category. We really, really want to talk to you about how to, make the most and have a fun and happy and joyful festive season, but also keep your additive-free load down as much as possible. So we've got a quick, short and snappy little episode here with 5 quick little hints and tips to help you in your festive season keep control over a few things.
Yeah, and we're specifically, talking about Christmas Day here. So what we've done is we've put together a free ebook for you to be able to download. You'll be able to find that over in the show notes or at additiveFreeLifestyle.com
/podcast 215. So go look us up. All right, let's dive right in. 5 hot topics, 5 easy ways, because we know that the Christmas season, there's lollies, there's junk food, like there's indulgence, there's overeating, there's loads more treats. We're bombarded with processed foods normally through this season. Our drinks are loaded with additives. It can get chaotic. We know that a lot of this causes behavioral issues, skin irritation, sleeplessness. We know that it does. So I guess if we want to try and take a little bit of that pressure off, we don't want to stop the joy. We want to be able to, still enjoy a beautiful festive season, but maybe avoiding some of those could actually help you enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah, and look, I don't think that it's going to be perfect. Our Christmas Day is never completely 100% additive free because I like to enjoy some Twiggy sticks. I like to have some cabana on a bicky or whatever it looks like to you. And I think that take the stress out of worrying about perfection as well. So let's get stuck into it. Here's our hot 5 tips. Tip number 1. It seems obvious, but cook from scratch. The more packet options you buy, the more additives you are going to have in your day. Like custard is a good example. It's so easy to make yourself, but a lot of people do buy it from a carton. Yeah. So the more fresh stuff you can make from scratch, the better you will be. Now, you don't have to do this on the day. You can start prepping for Christmas Day.
That's tip number 4, Jo. Moving ahead.
Oh, well, tip number 4. Get nice and prepared because you don't have to make everything on the day. I used to stress about that, but things can be frozen. Things can be stored. You just need really good containers and you'll be fine.
Yeah. So if we're going back to cooking from scratch, we take it in turns where we have our Christmas dinner because we've, various families, right? So my husband's family and then my side of the family. And last year I offered to make all the potatoes. I did all the turkey. I did all the stuffing and I'd made all the gravy for the whole family meal. Now there was, there's something like 20 something of us there. So, but yes, one, I wanted to help contribute, but also it gave me some control over the things that I kind of knew were going to be out of a jar or a tin. And this is not to put anyone down because, cooking for that many people is incredibly hard. And my mother-in-law does a fantastic job year in and year out doing that. But they were some things that I could control. So don't be scared. Obviously, I guess, like we talk about going to a birthday party, don't be scared to take some stuff. Don't be scared to do the same if that is going to be, there's some things that I'm a strict hard no on. And then there's other things that I'm like, nah, whatever, let's just go with it. And some of those, gave me some control. And also my one day son-in-law, he's gluten-free. So like you, Jo, like it gave me control over the stuffing and the gravy to make it all gluten-free as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. All right. Can I move on to tip number 2, Trace? Okay. Read labels carefully. So again, it's a no-brainer. This is where our app comes in.
Yeah.
And when you're shopping for your groceries, don't believe the clever marketing. Oh my God, there's so much marketing at Christmas time. And then you've got like the packet pavlovas and that always at the end of the aisle. And you've got the custards. There's a little fridge at the end of the aisle now. And, they're in there. And like companies pay a lot of money to big chain supermarkets to have their products displayed prominently in the supermarket. So it might be something you don't know. Like the people that don't have as much money, their products are probably on the bottom shelf, tucked away where you can't see them. But companies that have a lot of money might have them on the middle shelf, and they might have them at the end of the aisle. And especially the home brand, the Woolworths and Coles branded products, they're going to be more displayed as well. So don't believe those clever marketings of, the big banners that say, make your Christmas easy, or, you don't have to cook from scratch. Here it all is type of thing. Check your labels.
If we're talking about custard, we know, Jo, from past episodes that you're like 102 is one of the, is the additive that linked you to learning about all of this. And that is heavily found in pre-made custards and custard powder. And like Jo said, we've got a downloadable. So make sure you go to that, because we're going to link to a whole stack of recipes that you can cook in advance and get as well. So podcast 215. So make sure you check that out.
Yep. So with our app, you just go to the scanner in our app, hover the scanner over the ingredients listing, and then it will detect any additives that are possibly in there. So simple. Easy.
Super simple. All right. Tip number 3 is DIYing a little bit around your gifts and your decor. So I love getting pine cones and different things and putting them on the table, or just going down to a local park, or just down to the walking track and getting some eucalyptus leaves or something like to put on the table. But also I've made in the past my own, what are they called? Bonbons? What are they called? Bonbons? And put little gifts inside each one as part of the gift out to that person. And we labeled them, mum, dad, etc. So, they're another way to lower your toxic load, because sometimes gifts might be the candy cane or the, I don't know, some other type of food or heavily additive laden food. And if we can DIY a few of that and lower that toxic load there, then, I don't know, it sort of helps, I guess.
Yeah, I think Spotlight often sell DIY kits for bonbons as well. And I'm pretty sure one year at our brother's house, and my sister-in-law had made all her own bonbons. They were so thoughtful. She had a fishing hook for all the men. So she'd just been to BCF and grabbed a pack of fishing hooks, and all the men got a fishing hook, which was so cute. They all loved it. And then we women got like a homemade earrings. And I don't know, I can't remember, it was so many years ago, but I do remember it was really, really thoughtful. There were some vouchers, and it didn't cost a lot of money.
I had heaps of fun putting them together for everyone.
Yeah, so good. That's a really good idea. Essential oils is really, really good to do for little gifts as well. So make up your own DIY blends. You just need a 10 ml roller bottle, and you can add about 30 drops of essential oil, fill it up with fractionated coconut oil, and then you've got a beautiful little DIY gift that's really affordable.
Now, Jo's already done tip number 4, which is prep in advance, but let's dive into it a bit more, hey, because there's so many things we can prep in advance. Mum in past has even cooked all the meat the day before and then just served it up cold, or even reheated it, and it was fine. Custard, like you said, the pavlova, the desserts, nearly all the desserts you could do the day, or at least prep some of it. Even peeling all the vegetables can be done the day before.
I'll touch on that a little bit deeper for people that aren't aware. So like with your veggies, obviously a potato will go brown if you peel your potato. So you just need to pop them into water, into an airtight container, put the lid on, into the fridge they go, and they'll be perfect. With pavlova, you might not realize, but they freeze really well. So you can make a pavlova like 3 months out and pop it in, again, airtight container, into the freezer, and it will store in there beautifully. You can whip your cream the day before.
Oodles custard you could make the day before.
Something
obviously,
that
puddings and Christmas cakes you want to make weeks before anyway, but
Yep. And other things I've done as well is I've half prepped things. So
Yeah.
if it's like a salad that you don't want the dressing on because it will go soggy, you can obviously make your salad dressing, pop that in a jar, pop it into the fridge, and then prep some of your salad if you can. So there's so many different things you can do. And this is really good to get the whole family involved in as well. Like it shouldn't just be one person's job to do all of the cooking. It should be the whole family's job.
Yes, that would be nice.
Fair. Although, look, in our house, I tend to do the cooking and my husband will clean. So I'm happy with that. He's outside scrubbing the veranda and the barbecue and getting all of that ready. And I'm happy to be alone in the kitchen doing my thing.
Yeah. And look, sometimes I'm exactly the same. Like it's my kitchen. It's kind of my domain. I kind of know what, you get into your routines, but I agree. Prepping, getting it done in advance. And that's like every single week for me. I try and prep and get things done in advance. So that's not a new one for me or for you, Jo, I know as well.
It makes things a lot more affordable too, Trace. Sorry, before you go on to number 5, like Christmas Day is an expense, especially if you're the one hosting. And we're hosting this year. And I've already actually started buying some nuts and little things I'm seeing on special. As we're recording this, it's September. This is going to come out a lot closer to Christmas. But I'm already prepping because I can't afford to go and buy everything the week before Christmas. I have to space it out.
Yeah. And I love getting a beautiful ham. I love getting a really big whole turkey. And a couple of years ago, when it was my turn to host Christmas at my house, I paid an absolute fortune for it. But oh my God, it tasted so good. It was so delicious. It was the best. So I would rather spend money on that and then DIY a few things or save money elsewhere and to have that good quality food as well. So you can definitely do it. So moving on, tip number 5, our hydration. We obviously love a good drink at Christmas. So instead of the fountain Fantas and Mountain Dews, and which I'm sure you're not buying if you're listening to an additive-free podcast, but they can creep in at Christmas as a treat. So think of things like you just treat that type of stuff. Like I still always put a big jug of water on the table. We might go and splurge on some raw cordial. We might have some soda water, maybe some essential oils to help flavor our soda water. The only thing that we do that probably is not additive-free is my husband's grandmother. She always made this beautiful punch each year. And so we tribute her with the same punch recipe. So again, not additive-free, and that's okay. But there are little tweaks I've made to it that keep it as additive-free as possible. We're still, not diminishing the flavor of it or anything. So there's lots of different things that you can do there.
Is that because it's got ginger ale in it?
I think it has, I think she uses lemonade, and I just make sure I get an additive-free lemonade or as close to as possible. Things like that. So it's still just looking for that simple swap that I can make to keep it. And she uses fruit juice in it. So I'll buy like the nudie juice rather than the one in the carton that has not so great additives in it.
Yeah. So easy to make these little swaps. And as I said at the start of this episode, it's not about being perfect. It's not. And I just think it's such a beautiful day. Let's make the most of it and not worry about what we're eating.
And ice cream's a good one, Jo. We've got a fantastic ice cream recipe on our website, in our app, in our cookbook, so many of our cookbooks. In fact, our party cookbook would be a great cookbook to have throughout the festive season. There's so many little snacks and hints and tips and tricks in that party cookbook to help in any season. It doesn't have to be a birthday party. So, maybe if you haven't got that, then think about grabbing that one as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the free recipe ebook into this podcast episode show notes. So if you head over to additivefreelifestyle.com/podcast 1215. I have mucked this up every single time I have said it today.
215, people. It's 215.
All right. Head over to the show notes, and we hope you do have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas this year. No matter where you are, what you're doing, who you're with, make the most of it. And we'll be back next week with another episode.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone. Bye.